Good morning, beloveds. My name is Mary Ann Atwell Hardy, and I am a licensed spiritual practitioner here at the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living. I welcome you this morning. It's a beautiful day. And as always, we'll begin with a meditation that will last about 15 minutes. We'll take a break, and then the service will start at 10:45. The theme is possibility, and that was one of the first things that attracted me to Science of Mind, or spiritual Centers for Spiritual Living, is that all things are possible. And this meditation from Ernest Holmes sums it up quite nicely. I'm going to read it, and then we'll go into the silence. Today I meditate upon my divine inheritance. The kingdom of God is at hand. I inherit everything that belongs to this kingdom. The riches and the power and the glory of this kingdom are mine now. I do not rob anyone by entering into the fullness of the kingdom of power, of joy, and of abundance. I recognize that everyone inherits the same kingdom. There is no law of human heredity imposed upon me. Evil has no history. Limitation has no past. That which is opposed to good has no future. The eternal now is filled with perfection. I always have been and always will remain a complete, perfect, and whole expression of the eternal mind, which is God, the living Spirit Almighty. Today I enter into the limitless variations that the Divine Spirit has projected into my experience. I know that all things are good when rightly used. I perceive that all experience is a play of life upon itself. I enter into the game of living then with joyful anticipation, with spontaneous enthusiasm, and with the determination to play the game well and to enjoy it. Today I enter into my divine inheritance. I have shaken my thought loose from the belief that external conditions are imposed upon me by birth, through inherited tendencies or race belief. I proclaim the freedom of my divine legacy of love, abundance, peace, and joy. I possess the kingdom of God today in all its fullness. Oh, to me, that is just a great way to go into meditation, knowing that all things are possible with us. So, in order to prepare ourselves for the coming service, open our hearts and minds, I just invite you to settle in wherever you are. Wiggle around, get comfortable, have a relaxed posture, but straight spine. And just go into the quiet for about 15 minutes. So just take a deep cleansing breath, holding on to the quiet enthusiasm that comes with possibility. And knowing that all things are possible through God, that we only need to open our hearts and minds to greater and better thoughts. I just want to thank you for participating in this meditation. It not only prepares each one of us individually to be able to open up to the message and the songs that will follow, but we know energetically that it also opens hearts and minds for anyone participating in the service. So thank you again, and the service will begin at 10:45. So we will see you back then.
dreams and hands we will join together to build a place we can grow together. Together we are strong. Together we are whole. Together we are whole.
Thank you so very much, Cindy. I love these new videos with all of the images of our community. It's so nice to, at least even through the power of this technology, to be able to see each other right now. It's wonderful. Good morning. My name is Dusty Rippelmeyer, for those of you that don't know me. And I have the privilege and the honor of being the spiritual director, the senior minister of this amazing community. We are part of a larger community called Centers for Spiritual Living. We embrace new thought and ancient wisdom teachings, and through them, we believe in a practical spirituality that we can use to create the lives that we love to live. We are a powerful spiritual community, lovingly committed to a world of acceptance, compassion, peace, and joy. We grow together to express love, celebrate life, grow spiritually, practice radical acceptance and inclusion, and to connect with one another. What we are really about is providing a spiritual and supportive community where we can explore our own spiritual path and connect to the divinity and the wisdom within us. We welcome all of you that have been attending our services, our classes, and our special events. And we welcome all of you that are visiting for the very first time. We see you. We know who you really are. We appreciate you, and we celebrate you. We are very grateful that you have chosen to include us into your morning. In this moment, I would love to give out my gratitude and my appreciation to Marianne Hardy, one of our licensed spiritual practitioners, who facilitated a beautiful meditation to set the stage for our service to unfold within. Thank you so very much, Marianne. Now, please join me in welcoming licensed spiritual practitioner, Carol Cross. Welcome, Carol.
Hello, everyone. I am so happy to be with everyone this morning. It's a new season. It's a new month. So we have a whole new theme for the month, and that theme is Open to Possibilities. Our talk title for today is Living in the Question, a High Idea. Now, we've started a new practice since we aren't together physically anymore. We have a practitioner who holds vigil during the service, which is sitting in a meditative state that creates a sacred container for the service to take place within that allows us to have an even more transformative experience. So I want to thank practitioner Marianne Hardy, who is holding that vigil for us today. Thank you, Marianne. Now I'm going to read our community purpose statement. This is our reason for being here. Our purpose is to inspire, educate, and empower individuals to experience themselves as unique and individualized expressions of God, the love intelligence that governs the universe. We are committed to not merely a theoretical understanding of our oneness and unity with God, but to consciously practice this truth in our everyday lives. Through celebration, service, study, and fellowship, we are committed to the transformation of our personal lives and to being a powerful and beneficial presence on the planet. With the energy of unconditional love, simply, we are here for God. Now, I am so delighted to welcome to our platform two people I haven't seen in way too long, who are going to assist me with the blessing of all faiths. So please join me in welcoming Susan Robinson and Sharon Tyre, who are
everybody. Good morning. Great to be here.
Great to see you. So the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living honors the diversity and threads of truth that run through all spiritual paths, as represented by this ceremony. Christianity is the path of Christ consciousness, love, and forgiveness. Buddhism is the path of compassion and understanding. Judaism is the ethical path of living by sacred law. Baha'i is the path of unity and peace. Islam is the path of submission to the will of God, the highest calling. Confucianism is the path of deliberate tradition. Taoism is the natural way, the path of ultimate reality. Native American practice and shamanic traditions are the paths of primal spirituality. Shintoism is the path of tribal ancestry. Hinduism is the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. Science of mind and spirit is the path of the divine principle of love and law. And the heart represents the one heart, the one love that resides at the center of all people and all beings everywhere, with no exceptions. May peace prevail on earth through the followers of all paths. And so it is. Thank you, ladies, so much. It was great having you with us this morning.
Thank you.
I now invite you to join Cindy Johnson as she sings our opening congregational song.
Too much to say, too much to lose.
God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. God is my love, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my joy. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. Oh, I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need.
Thank you, Cindy. So I invite you to close your outer eyes and turn within for a moment as I say a word of blessing for our service. Because when I close my eyes and go within, I experience the truth of that song. I experience what my source is, what my power is, what my beauty is, what my truth is, and that is that little bit of God that is me, that I am. That individualized aspect of the unfathomable power that runs through everyone, everything, every atom of our universe. And I breathe in that power, that wisdom, that joy, that love, that abundance, that peace. And I know it is who and what I am. But I also know it is who and what you are, what you and your neighbors and your dogs and your pets and everyone on this planet is. So grounded in that truth, I say a word of blessing on all the volunteers who make this happen this morning. A word of blessing on the just magic that Mark Daly and Heather Abbott are doing behind the scenes. A word of blessing on the connection and the peace brought by Sharon and Susan participating in our service this morning. A word of blessing for Marianne Hardy, whose consciousness is raising this entire service to a higher level. Of course, a word of blessing on our beloved Reverend Dusty, who will lift our hearts and lift our souls and lift our consciousness and bring us into a space of even higher transformation. I'm also so blessed. We are also blessed that we have Sandy Hemingway with us today, whose words and music will touch our collective heart. And most of all, I am thankful for you, because it is in community that we all find the truth of who and what we are. So thank you to everyone who participates in this service today, and for those who will participate later by viewing the tape. So knowing that this is a good God day, because we've got a good God collection of folks making it so, I just turn this over to the law that always says yes, and ask you to join me with our affirmation, and so it is. So it is. Okay. The reading for today is from Reverend Michael Beckwith, and he says, when your thoughts and actions begin to align with the imperatives of your soul, you enroll the full support of the universe. Unimagined possibilities begin to open up as you synchronize with the divine. Whew. So we are going to experience that right now as I invite up our musician of the day, Mr. Sandy Hemingway. Yay, Sandy! We're so glad to have you with us this morning.
Well, I feel incredibly blessed to be here. This song that I'm going to do is a chant that I wrote a while back. And though we can't be in the same room physically, I invite all of you out there to sing along with me. There's just one word that changes each verse. The first verse is ready. The second verse is willing. The third verse is able. So the first verse is, yes, I am ready to be loved. Then it's, yes, I am willing to be loved. And yes, I am able to be loved. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am ready to be loved. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am ready to be loved. Like a small seed in a flower bed beneath the shining sun. Yes, I know I am loved. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am willing to be loved. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am willing to be loved. Like a small seed in a flower bed beneath the shining sun. Yes, I know I am loved. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am able to be loved. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am able to be loved. Like a small seed in a flower bed beneath the shining sun. Yes, I know. Yes, I know. Yes, I know I am loved. Yes, I am.
Yes, you are, Sandy. Yes, you are amazing and wonderful, and I'm so very grateful that you are on this journey with us. Thank you so very much. So the theme for the month of March, as Carol said, is open to possibilities. And my talk title is Living in the Question, a High Idea. As I was preparing for the message, this one particular quote kept coming up for me again and again and again. And it's by Rainer Maria Reich in Letters to a Young Poet. He says, I beg you to have patience with everything unresolved in your heart and try to love the questions themselves. Like they were locked rooms and books written in a very foreign language. Don't search for answers which could not be given to you now, because you would not be able to live them. And the point is to live everything. Live the questions now. Perhaps then, someday far in the future, you will gradually, without even noticing it, live your way into the answer. And I found, which was very cool for me, that this quote really resonated for me, despite the fact that the very first thing I thought of was, well, what the heck does that mean? What does it mean exactly to have patience with everything unresolved in your heart and to love and live the questions themselves? What does it mean to live the questions? And how can we find the answers by simply doing so? And how do we live in them when most of the time I really believe that we all just ache for certainty? We all want to know. We all want to be in control. When we don't know something, we feel vulnerable, frustrated, anxious, and unprepared. Most of us learn early as young children that we are supposed to be on top of everything, to understand, to control, and to make life go our way. We're supposed to have a plan and we're supposed to work the plan. And if we don't do so, then there's something wrong with us. There's always someone ready, willing, and able to tell us to work harder or to push harder. When we know the answers, we not only feel safe, but also in control. When we know the answers, we have an idea, we have a plan, we have certainty of mind. We are in charge. or so we think. We believe that when we know the answers, we no longer have to be in the present moment. We don't have to remain open to the ever-changing circumstances and experiences that may come to us. We believe what we know is right, and there's nothing that can sway us. We have a plan, and we are working that plan. And because we are working that plan, we have a map of where we are going, and we believe that we no longer have to pay attention to what is happening right now, to where we are right now. Paying attention, staying fluid is not needed because our mind has already decided what is so and what will be. The challenge is that most of the answers that we come up with, particularly the ones that come rushing in before we really know what our highest and best is, come from our mind. They don't come from our heart. They don't come from our gut. They don't come from our experiences. They certainly, most certainly, do not come from our deepest wisdom. The challenge is that we are afraid to be in life without being a step ahead of it. We're afraid to be in life without trying to control it. We are afraid to leave life open and unresolved. We are afraid to actually be present in our lives, leaving them fully and allowing life to reveal the answers as we go. We're afraid to be vulnerable and not to be in charge, to surrender to the mysteries of what we can't know yet and in all probability may never know. The challenge is that we can't solve the problems with this that we face with the same wisdom, with the same mind that created them. We cannot be so certain about the path to take. We must all realize that we are all brand new, that this is the first time that any of us has ever been in this particular moment at this particular time. We have to become beginners. The challenge is that when we think we know all there is to know, we shut ourselves off from the flow of life, from the allness of possibility that is always available to us. There is no room from that place for a view from a higher realm or from an expanded consciousness or an expanded awareness. There's no room for that. On the other hand, when we live in the question and stop trying to know what we don't know, we're consciously choosing to be and experience what's happening right now. We're constantly choosing to pay attention to our experiences and to the conscious choices that we really want to make based on this perfect now moment. When we live in the questions, we are agreeing to discover rather than know. That discovery is based on what's unfolding in the moment rather than on our preconceived ideas of it. When we live in the questions, we're forming a collaboration, if you will, with our experiences, relaxing the reins and actually letting life show the way. When we stop trying to know everything, we let loose our stranglehold on trying to control everything and instead pass that control on to life itself. Life will inform us. It really will if we could just let loose any resistance that we have and simply listen. Living in the question, in essence, involves a shift from knowing to listening. Living the questions can be dynamic and personal and intimate in a way that knowing static truth is not. To love, really love the questions, is to hold mystery and possibility close to our hearts and to allow them that mystery and those possibilities to work on us, to shape us, to shift us, and to transform us. When we live the questions, we live in a way that is humble, a way that is open to exploration and inquiry, a way that makes us available to new ideas, a way that in which we are willing to accept the legitimacy of another person's viewpoint, and in a way that is motivated by the desire for continued personal and collective growth. When we live the questions, we are always discovering new answers for them. It is when we simply explore the questions, feel our way into the experience of them, and then let our exploration germinate without trying to resolve the issue, we find that the answer just comes. Often not the one that we would have thought of, or perhaps the one that we want, but the right answer nonetheless. The invitation is to live the questions without forcing the answers. In an article called Moving Beyond Answers to Live the Questions, the Co-Intelligence Institute says, perhaps we shouldn't even speak of answers. Perhaps living a question, living an inquiry, is like living with a fruit tree that continually generates fruit, in this case, insights, for our nourishment. There is never anything final about any particular apple from an apple tree. More will follow. They don't answer, they just nourish. So, how can we nourish ourselves? The invitation is for each of us to just ask questions. Ask the universe. Ask our higher power. Ask God. Ask the goddess. Ask our higher selves. Ask anything. Just ask the questions. It really doesn't matter who or what we ask. Just be in this process of asking the questions. Some questions, however, are really better than other questions. The invitation is to ask questions that tap into the feeling tone of what we want to experience. For example, what would it take to work less and make more money? Or what would it take to live in boundless joy? Or how does it get any better than this? Or what are the infinite possibilities that are available to me that I can't even in this moment imagine? All really wonderful questions. The invitation is to not look for the answer. Let the universe deliver it. The invitation is to follow the guidance and the inspiration of our inner wisdom. Keep asking. It's kind of funny, but if you think about it, once we find an answer, it becomes a conclusion, and that could, in all possibility, limit the possibilities that are now available. Just keep asking questions. The invitation is to be open to possibilities that show up in ways that we might not think or want. Often the things that show up are things that we could have never imagined, things that are beyond possibility of us knowing in that moment, more than we could ever know is possible. By asking and following the energy, we tap into so much more. And it's all available and it's all there for the asking. As individualized expressions of God, we have access to the infinite wisdom and the universal intelligence of the divine. It flows through us and as us to the degree that we set our previous ideas aside and really become aware and conscious of that wisdom of the Spirit. Direct revelation is available to us through our intuition and can be intentionally cultivated through the use of the spiritual practice of visioning. Now, I imagine that many people listening today know something about visualization. While visioning might be new to some people that are listening, they're not the same. There is a very big distinction between them. Visualization is the process of forming a mental image of something in our mind's eye. So, for example, there's many athletes that use visualization to form a mental image of themselves running and winning a race, or perhaps soaring over the high bar at a track meet, or making that all elusive dunk from mid-court. Whereas visioning is being in a receptive state in which we are able to catch a vision of our life from outside of our current awareness and understanding of ourselves. From outside of that, visioning invites us to listen to and from a very different place. A place that is beyond the egoic mind to that which is seeking to express in, through, and as us. Visioning is a spiritual practice or a technology, as Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith describes it, that allows us to move into a space of deep listening. And it allows something beyond our imagination to come forth. It's a process by which we train ourselves to hear, feel, see, or catch God's highest idea or plan for our life. It's a way of discovering direction and clarity. Reverend Beckwith says it is based on the idea that we are not here to tell God what to do or to ask God for things, but to be absolutely available for what God is already doing, to open ourselves up to catch what's already happening. Now, visioning is tapping into the space of possibility based on a bigger picture from a higher realm. It's not trying to get anything, for in truth, we already have everything that we could possibly need within us. But it's a process to let our souls evolve to become our highest and best, the self that we were created to be. As religious scientists, we recognize that there is just one mind, and it is that mind that we tap into it. Through it, we are connected to the universal wisdom and divine intelligence, to all knowledge that there ever has been, that there ever is, that there is right now, or that there ever will be. We tap into that through that one mind. Visioning relies on the inner knower, on the divinity within us, on our intuition. Through visioning, we open a way for that which is already done, already whole, perfect, and complete to come into view. We allow ourselves to be receptive to the divine ideas, and then we expand our willingness to be in alignment with them. To do so, we must be willing to let go of anything that prevents the ideas from being expressed through us. Our theme for the month is open to possibilities, and the spiritual practice of visioning is the perfect way to be able to do this. Opening up to the impress of spirit, visioning allows us to really tap into a realm of possibilities that is endless. It is the practice of cultivating the field of consciousness and illuminating what wants to emerge into form without preconceived ideas or limitations or any resistance on our part. Our lives are transformed and expanded when we live in and from the question, what is God's highest idea of itself as my life? What is God's highest idea of itself as my life? Now, I believe there are 3 important things to cultivate within ourselves in order to be able to live in the questions. I specifically say cultivate because even if we don't feel that we have these qualities in our lives in the moment, we are able to cultivate them. The first is curiosity as a way of being. Questions open us to something brand new. Inviting curiosity as a way of being is really being able to live in the question. This breaks us away from what we think we know and from what we think we desire, and invites something greater within us and surrounding us to guide us or to illuminate something new. We learn through curiosity, remaining open to experience a shift of perspective or a new awareness or a heightened experience of life. The question we can ask ourselves is, am I willing to be surprised by what I discover about myself and my life? Am I willing to be surprised? That is curiosity as a way of being. The second is a willingness to engage in deep listening. This means that when we ask the questions, we are not listening in the way that we normally listen, perhaps filled with judgment about what we are hearing or already formulating our response, but rather engaging in reverent alertness, as though the next thing that we are about to hear or see or feel or catch is the most important thing that we are ever going to hear or feel or smell or experience or catch in our entire lives. Something that will change our lives forever. That is the way we have to listen. When we do so, we open ourselves up and we can begin to just notice what flows through us. Just notice. Each person will receive the information in the way that is perfect for him or her. Sights, sounds, smells, feeling, tones. There's really no right way. Everything is perfect. The invitation is to not judge whatever we receive, just notice it. It may not even make sense in the moment, but that's okay. It's all good. Just stay in the question and remain curious. The third is to have faith. Faith that we live in a universe that is always for us and never against us. Faith that it is God's good pleasure to give us the kingdom of heaven on earth, and faith that when we ask the questions, the answers are already on their way. The truth is that asking questions makes us receptive to the guidance, the wisdom, the intelligence, the clarity, the insight, and the intuition of the divine. The possibilities are endless when we are living from that space and place. Right now, we human beings are individually and collectively on a wild and interesting ride, one that the outcome of which is most definitely uncertain. Everything is unfolding moment by moment. Living in the uncertainty of the times means being willing to stay present and awake in the not knowing. It means taking action where we can and not deluding ourselves into thinking that we have all of the answers. We cannot fall asleep now. We need to stay in that space in which we are willing to stay present and awake in the not knowing. Living in the question allows us to be in life, letting life guide us rather than our minds endlessly trying to steer life. Living in the questions allows us to open to the infinite mystery of life, allowing life to unfold in its own way with us as a part of it. Reverend Nancy Collier, in an article called Living in Uncertainty When Not Knowing is the Only Answer, says, When we don't know, not knowing is the truth. Anything else is made up, a way to try and feel safe, to control what feels uncontrollable in the moment. Living in the question, no matter how it feels, is living in the truth, which, once we get the hang of it, contains its own safety and trustworthiness. Living in the question means planting our feet in moving ground, accepting that we're in a process without a known outcome, that the process is the destination for now. In doing so, we're also agreeing to be humble, to surrender our badge as master of the universe, to admit that we don't have all of the answers, that we await further clarity to be offered by something larger than ourselves. Living in the question, while not familiar perhaps, ultimately proves to be the most alive, fresh, and real place that we can hope to inhabit. I love that. The most alive, fresh, and real place that we can hope to inhabit. The invitation today is to live in the question, to have the faith of God, and to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that when we ask, an answer is given. The invitation is to ask question after question after question and reverently listen for the answers. The invitation is to remain curious, stay open to possibility, and to be ready, willing, and able to receive. And so it is. And so it is. So I just invite us to turn within, to close our outer eyes and turn away from the world of form and allow our attention and intention to be centered on the core of our being, that spark of the divine within. It is here that I recognize that wisdom. I recognize that unconditional love. I recognize the boundless joy, the peace that passes all understanding. I know that I am one with this, that I was created by God, out of God, and so therefore, wherever I am, God is in its fullness and in its wholeness. And just as I know that this is true for me, I know that it is absolutely true for each and every person within the sound of my voice, each and every person and sentient being on the planet. We are all divine emanations of the One. And it is from that place of unity that I speak these words about and for each of us today, truly knowing that there is a way that we can live our lives fully and wide open to all of the possibilities, the limitless possibilities that exist for us, the limitless possibilities that are available to us. I claim ease and grace around living that life, around being open and available at all times and in all ways for the wisdom of the divine to flow through and as me, to flow through and as each of us. I'm so grateful for my awareness of this. For my awareness allows me to get myself out of the way and to call in all things good, a life that we love to live, a life filled with endless possibilities, a life that stems out of curiosity as a way of being, a life that in which I am willing to reverently listen to and for all that I do not know, cannot possibly know. I know that this is a divine life, a life that I and all of us are willing and really excited about living. I'm so grateful to know this truth, so grateful to speak these words. So grateful for the power of prayer, knowing that these words are loosed into a law that only ever says yes, that my words are clothed in form even as they are spoken. And so I speak them and I release them with love and gratitude and full expectation of their manifestation, letting go and letting God be God. And I invite everyone to anchor this prayer for ourselves, for each other, for our community, and for the world, simply by saying, and so it is. And so it is. Amen. It is now time for our conscious giving. The Triangle Center for Spiritual Living is sustained by the giving of our time, talent, and treasure. This is the time every week that we offer financial support to assist this community to be a beacon of light and love for ourselves and for others. Together, we affirm that today's offering lifts this spiritual community, prospers the one giving, and contributes to the experience of sufficiency in the world. There are several ways that you can give, and they're on the screen there. Visit our website at www.trianglecsl.org. Text the word give using the following number, 919-230-8445, or send a check to P.O. Box 4062, Cary, North Carolina 27519. I now invite everyone to please place your hand on your heart with your gift or an intention, and let's say our giving affirmation in a call and response. I live in an abundant universe that blesses and prospers my life. I live in an abundant universe that blesses and prospers my life. I give with gratitude, knowing that God is my source. I give with gratitude, knowing God is my source. And so it is. And so it is. Thank you all so very much. I would love for you to now please join me in welcoming Sandy Hemingway back to his piano and into our hearts.
Well, thank you very much, Reverend Dusty, for that message. And this is one of those wonderful weeks where I'm delighted to be a living, breathing example of what Reverend Dusty just talked about. When I saw the talk title for this week, my initial response was, say what? And I really had no idea of precisely what to pick out. And I picked out a song and I practiced it and I just wasn't happy with it. And so I started looking through my other songs, and I came upon the song, which I hadn't done in a long while. It's by Janice Stanfield. And it wasn't until Reverend Dusty started sharing her wisdom that I realized why this song spoke to me and answered that question. And before I start singing it, I'm going to share the words of the bridge with you, and I think you'll understand. The words of the bridge go, you don't have to work it out, just stay in the here and now. Let your mind rest for a little while. Sometimes deepest answers come when you're out there having fun. So close your eyes and take a breath and smile. This is Janice Stanfield's Amazing Things. You will do amazing things with the choice each new day brings, and with every step you take, that's the progress that you make. The reason you live is found in every gift you give. Love your life, love your dreams. You will do amazing things. Amazing all the places you will go, and the people you will know. Don't worry when or where or how. You don't need to know that now. You're on the right track. No need to look ahead or back. Just enjoy what each day brings. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. You don't have to work it out. Just stay in the here and now. Let your mind rest for a little while. Sometimes deepest answers come when you're out there having fun. So close your eyes and take a breath and smile. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things.
Sandy, thank you so, so much. I love that song and I love that story. And it just proves why your music is always so powerful, because it's not just because you're a talented singer and piano player and writer, although you are those things, but it's because these aren't words that you sing. These are truths that you live. So thank you so much for your gift to us this morning. All right, so I know everybody was probably really inspired by Dusty's talk. So if you need some support in staying open to possibilities, please reach out and join our prayer list. So if anybody would like prayer on any matter, you can go to our website at trianglecsl.org. And on the homepage, there's a button in the upper right-hand corner. You click on that button and fill in the request form. And we get that prayer and send it out to all of our ministers and practitioners. And then you'll have your whole community praying along with you. Right after today's service, please join us for our Let's Stay Connected. So you'll need to go to Zoom for that. And you can find the link on our Wednesday newsletter. And now something that we are super excited about. We have arranged our first community physical meeting for this new year. So please mark your calendars and save the date for a community picnic. It's an outdoor gathering of our community on Saturday, May 15th from 12 to 5. It's BYOE, bring your own everything, bring your own food and drink and chairs, and join us as we celebrate life and each other. And we've rented a shelter that has a roof, so we don't care, rain or shine, cold or hot, whatever happened, be there, please. Everyone is welcome, although we are limited by the park rules to 50 people. So just stay tuned and we will be sending out information about how to sign up for this event. Okay, in the comfort of your own home, please stand for our March affirmation. And remember Sandy's lesson. It's not about the words. The words are not in the magic. The word is in the power and the intention you put into the words. This is a call and response, so please repeat after me. My life is the embodiment of Spirit's highest idea of itself as me. My life is the embodiment of Spirit's highest idea of life of itself as me. I remain open to possibilities to experience a life beyond my wildest imagination. I remain open to possibilities to experience a life beyond my wildest imagination. I live in a state of curiosity about that life. I live in a state of curiosity about that life. My work is to be still and listen to the voice within. My work is to be still and listen to the voice within. I follow its guidance about what needs to be released, allowing a new idea to unfold. I follow its guidance about what needs to be released, allowing a new idea to unfold. With open arms, I embrace my transformation. With open arms, I embrace my transformation. I relax and behold God's grace unfolding as my life. I relax and behold God's grace unfolding as my life. And so it is. Amen. All right. So Dusty has picked another perfect video for us to finish off this service with. But before we do that, please close your eyes one more minute as I say a quick benediction for today's service. And when I close my eyes after that talk, I really feel myself diving into that pool of divine possibility. And I feel myself floating on that divine power and source, that source of love and grace and joy and peace and abundance. And wow, it feels good. It feels easy. And I know that's my truth, that I am one with the divine. And my job is just to stay open to what divine is telling me. I know this is true for me. I know it's true for everyone on this planet. And so I am grateful. I am so grateful for all of the contributions of everyone that created this transformative experience today. I know that it has unfolded perfectly, that what had to be said or sung was said or sung in the perfect way and received in the perfect way by everyone on the other end of our magical technology. So I'm so grateful for this time together, so grateful for all of the talents of people involved in this, so grateful for the energy of this community that loves each other and stands for us all to have extraordinary lives together. So I know we have declared it. God says, make it so. So we'll turn that over to God with our words, and so it is. And so it is. Okay, let's bring on the video.
Hey. Thank you all so very much for joining us today. It was a pleasure serving you. We love you all so very much. Thank you. Have a great day.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.